So since high pressure is the good weather, then low pressure is the what weather? Bad weather. What word did I tell you to remember when it comes to bad weather? Lightning. The L in low pressure system for lightning, which means bad weather. Who would like to tell me what happens during the high pressure system? What's happening during high pressure system? Tell me about the skies and the air during the high pressure system. Akiris?
The air flows down and out in the center, clouds clear out, then you have sunshine and clear skies.
Great job. With the high pressure system, the air flows down and out in the center. That enables us to have clear skies, and the sun is able to do what? Just like now, we see out the window, the sun is shining in. So today, do we have a high pressure system or low pressure system?
High pressure system.
We have good weather. The air flows down and out. Remember, if the air is flowing down and out, that means nothing is going in the sky and no action is happening. So that means good weather. So when it comes to low pressure system, who want to explain to us what happens during low pressure system, Sharpay?
The air flows in and upward.
The air flows in and upward in the center. Once the air flows in and upward in the center, what happens? What happens? Is the weather good or bad?
Bad.
We have bad weather. Basically, the water cycle repeats itself. Once the air flow in and up in the center, we have where the air travels into the air. Once it travels into the air, it forms. Once it forms clouds, those clouds get too heavy and have to release their water. So then it storms. I showed you a visual of what happens, what it actually looks like during that low pressure system. Did you all remember?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The next we have is front. How many types of fronts are there?
2.
What are they?
Cold front and warm front.
Cold front and warm front. Explains to me what happens with that front.
The fronts mix, the cold and warm front.
The cold and warm front mix. Once that cold and warm air mix, does the atmosphere like it? No, the atmosphere can't stand it. So that lets us know that something is going to happen, right? Something is going to form. Something's going to brew up. Something is going to happen. So once that cold and warm air mix, what happens? Go ahead, Mr. John. Go ahead.
The cold front goes under the warm fronts, and they both go to the atmosphere and turn cold and forms clouds.
All right. With the cold front and the warm front. The cold air we know goes under the warm air. Once it goes under the warm air, then the warm air goes into the sky. Once it goes into the air, it causes disruption. It goes into the air and then it goes on up and it turns cold, form cloud, and then that causes a storm. I'm going to show you what it actually looks like with a water demonstration.
This bacon is just hanging out of this burger.
That nice tangy smoked sauce.
Let's look at this one. It has more color.
Okay. So teach us something.
All right. This we know is going to be the cold front, the cold water. And this is the warm water. They color coded it to show you the difference. Right now they have something in between it to separate it. This is a good visual or demonstration of what happens when that cold air and warm air mixes. Everybody paying attention?
Yes, ma'am.
So you need to make it usually go 3 feet long. Yeah. And 3
You see the cold air going under the warm air. Let's look right in here. Pay attention. Look at that right there. What does that look like? It looks like the formation of a what? A cloud or a what? A tornado. That's how when tornadoes form and happen, that's how it looks. You see how it has this cloudy, smoky look in the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a great demonstration of cold and warm front, what happens when they mix. The cold air goes underneath the warm air goes into the atmosphere. Once it goes into the sky, we have condensation. It turns cold and then those clouds begin to form and it gives us good or bad weather. Bad weather. It gives us weather. Alright. So, let's move forward. Our last review is going to be on the formation of a thunderstorm. We know there are 3 stages to a thunderstorm forming. What are they? Cumulus, mature cumulus, and dissipation. Cumulus stage. What type of air do we have during the cumulus stage? Warm air. Warm air. And we know that during the cumulus stage, those cumulus clouds are formed. And we know that those cumulus clouds are also called storm clouds. Those cumulus clouds are formed and the storm clouds are formed. Then we go to our next step, which is the what? What happens during the mature cumulus stage? You have what type of rain?
Heavy rain.
Heavy rain. So during the mature cumulus stage, is it actually storming? Yes, it's actually storming. During the mature cumulus stage, we know that that's when that storm is actually happening. And I told you that the cumulus clouds goes into the air up about to how many feet?
5,000, 50,000.
50,000. But it goes to about 9,000 to 10,000 at first. But it can go as high as 50,000. 50,000 feet is up where the wood be flying.
Jets.
Where the jets
planes.
fly. So the cumulus cloud can go that high. If it goes that high, what type of weather would we have?
Very bad weather.
Very bad weather. That's when you have that severe weather threat. Everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright? So that storm begins to go and go and go until it gets what?
Tired.
It gets tired until it wears itself out. Once it wears itself out, then what happens during that last stage? What's the last stage?
Dissipation.
Dissipation. What happens during that last stage once it wears itself out?
The rain just keeps on going until it slows down and stops eventually.
It keeps raining until it gets tired and then it goes away. So during that last stage, we know we have heavy or light rain. Light rain. Everybody understand the water cycle? Yes or no?
Yes.
Everybody understand high and low pressure system? Yes or no?
Yes,
Does
ma'am.
everyone understand fronts?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone understand the formation of a thunderstorm?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, which brings us to this week. Everybody understand how to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, what we are learning today is converting Celsius to Fahrenheit. I'm about to give you your standard for the day. This is your standard for today. The standard is the same as last week, except we're actually adding the other conversion in today. Somebody read that standard for me.
Research and use models to explain what type of weather, thunderstorms, hurricanes, and tornadoes results from the movement and high interactions of air masses, high and low pressure systems, and frontal boundaries.
All right. So, the standard is the same from last week. But what we're doing this week, as you can see, We have gone over these: the thunderstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes, from the movement of interaction of air masses, high and low pressure system, and frontal boundaries. We're going to add our calculations for Celsius to Fahrenheit. Make sure you write your notes as I am going along. The conversion for converting Celsius to Fahrenheit is the degree Fahrenheit equals degree Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. Make sure you write that down. Make sure you write it down. All right, I'm going to give you an example. Look in your book on page 453, and you should be able to follow along on page 453. Conversion is on page 453. All right, they gave us the number 37. We're going to use the number 37. That's our number. So, our unknown is the degree Celsius, but they gave you the unknown, which is 37. Let's plug it in. F equals 37 times 1.8 plus 30. When we're doing math, we know we have to do order of operations, correct? So if we're doing order of operations, we're going by PEMDAS. According to PEMDAS, what is your first order of operation? Okay, so what do we have in our parentheses?
37 times 1.8.
37 times 1.8. Who can give me the answer for 37 times 1.8? Work it out. 66.6. All right, 66.6. When we're doing these conversions, keep the decimal until the final step. When we get to the final step, then that is when we will round it. 66.6. So, we worked our parentheses. What do we have left?
32.
What are we going to do with it? We have addition. So, we need to add what? 66.6 plus 32. Quickly calculate it.
98.6.
98.6. So, what is our answer?
99.
Why is the answer 99? Because you have to do what? You have to round it up. We have to, but what number do we look at to know if we need to round? The number behind the decimal. We know that the number behind the decimal is higher than 5, so do we round up or does it stay the same?
We round up.
Our answer is
99.
So 37 degrees Celsius converted to Fahrenheit is 99 degrees. Everybody understand?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
going to go back through it again. When we are converting Celsius to Fahrenheit, our formula is degrees Fahrenheit equals degrees Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. We have our parentheses. We are trying to find the Fahrenheit. So they gave us the number. I gave you the number for Celsius, which is 37. So you just plug it in. Fahrenheit equals 37 times 1.8 plus 32. We know that according to PEMDAS, we have to work what's inside the parentheses first. 37 times 1.8 is 66.6. Keep the decimal until we complete the problem. Our Our next order of operation will be to add what we get inside the parentheses plus the 32. The 32 is the known and the 1.8 is the known. Those numbers will never change. Never change. Everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
66.2 plus 32, you told me is 98.6. But is that our final answer? No, because we have to round it. The number behind the decimal is higher than 5. 98.6 is
99.
So our degree Fahrenheit is?
99.
Does everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all sure?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. I'm gonna show you. The conversion.
At Jiffy Lube, it's our job to keep you moving. With a full range of services from oil changes and tire rotations to filters, wipers, and more, we've got what your car needs right when you need it. So you're ready for whatever's next. Putting you in the driver's seat of car care, that's a job for Jiffy.
Nearest whole number, 97.
Let's pay attention.
Hey everyone, this is Nurse Ryan, and in this video, we're going to learn how to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit, or Fahrenheit to Celsius, in two very quick and easy steps. There are really only two numbers that you have to remember for this method, and those are 1.8 and 32. So to
Remember, 1.8 and 32. These two numbers will always be the same. Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. They would never change.
convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit, simply multiply by 1.8 and then add 32.
The first thing you're doing is going to multiply your degree Celsius times 1.8 and add 32.
For example, if you want to convert 36.5 degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit, first multiply.
We want to convert 36.5 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. What's going to be our first step? They gave you the degree Celsius. We know we have to do what to that degree Celsius?
Multiply by 1.8.
Plug it in, multiply by 1.8. That's our first step.
Multiply 36.5 by 1.
36.5 multiplied by 1.8 gives us what?
65.7.
65.7.
0.8, giving you 65.7. Then add 32 to 65.7.
Our next order of operation is? Why are we adding 65.7 to 32? Because that is your formula. It will always be the same. 65.7 plus 32 gives us 97.7. But is this going to be your final answer?
No.
What would be the final answer? 98. Why wouldn't it be 98?
Because you have to round them.
Which
Great
gives you
job.
97.7. And there you have it. It's that easy. 36.5 degrees Celsius is equal to 97.7 degrees Fahrenheit. If you'd like to round to the nearest whole number, 97.7 would round up to 98 degrees Fahrenheit. And if
Great job. All right, so does everyone understand how to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're going to wrap the lesson up. What we're going to do next is, we do our weather reporter. Quickly, who would like to report our weather for today? All right, come on, Mr. Tayshawn.
All right, thank you, Ms. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
For today, our current weather today or tonight is 71 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have about a 29.94 inch pressure for today, with the winds not too hard, with 3 miles per hour winds.
Mhm.
Our dew point, which is just simply the amount of condensation in the air, we have a 30 degrees dew point. It feels like about 71 degrees, which is exactly our temperature.
Mhm.
The sun rises at about 6:29 a.m. and the sun sets at 6:03 p.m.
Mhm.
The moon rises at about 6:46 a.m. and the moon sets at about 6:11.
Uh-huh. All right, so let's go to the forecast for now. What time is it?
It's about
1:42. So we're gonna look at the weather for 2 p.m. Tell us about the temp. What temperature is it?
It's 75.
So if it's 75 degrees, you all, is it hot or cold? It's rather warm because we know the higher the temp, the what the weather. All right, and the lower the temp, the. All right, so the description, describe the weather.
Alright, the weather today is very sunny with 0% rain, also known as precipitation. The dew point is going to be about 29 degrees, so that's the amount of condensation in the air. And the winds are also low with 4 miles per hour.
All right, y'all tell Tayshawn, great job. Thank you, Tayshawn. All right, your exit ticket. You are going to convert 22 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. Your exit ticket. And then we are done for the day. Okay, before we exit, I want someone to come up and work the problem for me. Who would like to work the problem for me? All right, Danielle, you can come on.
Okay. Okay.
All right, can you explain that for us, Danielle?
Yes, so first you're gonna start off, you're gonna look at your equation, then you're gonna go to the parentheses because you have to start.
What
with
is our
parentheses first.
initial equation? What is our equation? We know that the equation is the degree Fahrenheit equals degree Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. We gave you the number for Celsius, which was what?
22.
Okay, so you needed to plug 22 in as you did. Now explain to us your next steps.
So first you're gonna do 22 times 1.8 because it's in parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're gonna do 39.6.
Uh-huh.
So then you're gonna bring your 32 down and go add it plus 39.6.
Why did you add 32 next?
Because after parentheses it says plus 32.
Okay.
So after you add that, you get 71.6. You round it to the nearest 10, which gives you 72.
Why did you round to the nearest 10?
Because if it's 5 or more,
You round up or does it stay the same?
you round up.
All right, good job. Y'all tell Danielle, great job.